good at?
Cash.
I'm gonna make you a proposal. I can see that you want to say no, but I wouldn't do that before you see what I'm offering you. Cash. You are awesome.
Oh yeah! All right!
So, I hear you want to be a telemarketer. It's a lot of fun. I'll tell you all about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Sorry to Bother You. I really do appreciate it. So, Sorry to Bother You, if you would like to look it up right now, it's being described as a comedy, fantasy, science fiction film. And I didn't know that going in. I just kind of looked at it as a comedy. I saw the trailer when it first came out, and we saw Lakeith Stanfield there. If you don't know him, he is the gentleman that was Dre in Get Out, which came out last year. And currently right now he is in the show Atlanta that's on FX with Donald Glover, one of the friends. Fantastic actor. I'll talk about him more in just a second. Of course, he's the main character, but I just saw him in the trailer just talking, and him, Danny Glover, talking about using my white voice, and I'm like, oh snap, that's hilarious, and I can relate to that because like all black people have been there, like all of them, like all of us. You know what I'm saying? We've all pretended to have a white voice, especially when we're trying to get a job or set up an interview or things like that. Oh yes, my name is Brandon Avery. We've all done it. I remember as a little kid, I heard my dad doing it, on the phone when he's talking about when he's talking to his colleagues and coworkers and things like that. And I instantly knew why. I mean, that's just like, reality. So that like initially got my interest right there, within the movie, is that first trailer. It has a full star-studded cast as far as I'm concerned. I just talked about Lakeith Stanfield. We got Tessa Thompson in here. We got Amari Hardwick. Been in a ton of films right now. He's the main character in Power. Terry Crews, we all know who that is. Danny Glover, he's a legend. We got Stephen Young from the Walking Dead series, a series that I don't watch anymore. Also, Armie Hammer, Patton Oswalt is in this. He does a voice. Forrest Whitaker is in here as well. So I mean, we got a great cast. I was all over this. Now, the writer and director is a gentleman I've never heard of before, and most wouldn't. His name is Boots Riley. Boots! I bet people was calling him Boots growing up, but his name is Boots Riley. He only has one writing credit, which is this right here, Sorry to Bother You, and 2 directing credits for Sorry to Bother You and The Coop, the best Coop DVD ever, or The Coup, the best Coup DVD ever. Came out in 2005. It's a 2005 video short segments, Eating Forever, Me and Jesus the Pimp, and a 79 Granada Last Night. What? Okay. I didn't look that up before I hit record, but hey, whatever. I hope it was successful for him. Now, what I would say, what this film is about is, I told you, Lakeith Stanfield, his name in the film is Cassius Green. He's just trying to get a job, be a telemarketer. We all know that that's annoying. Telemarketers calling you, trying to sell you stuff. That's why the title of the film is Sorry to Bother You. And, he's just trying to, live his life. And I'm thinking the movie was just going to be that simple, nothing complex, it's just going to be a straight up comedy. No, that is not what this movie is. It is so much more. It just goes from that all the way to levels that are as far deep into space. Whether that is good or bad, or if I liked it or not, of course, we're going to get into it. But I'm not going to spoil the movie for you. This is a non-spoiler review, but I just want to let you know that this is much more than a comedy. As far as the comedy is concerned, it is funny, for the most part to me. It was not laugh out loud funny. I was not just like, oh my gosh, feels like a comedy. There were some jokes and some quips in the film that I did find funny. There is actually more real life moments that are funny than actual jokes. That is funny when they're not trying to be funny. I mean, of course they're trying to be funny. This is a movie. They wrote it into the script. They wrote it into the screenplay. But sometimes in life, just us as human beings, as we're going through life and interacting with each other, just some of the things that we do unconsciously but it's funny. So it had a number of things like that I did laugh at in the film. Now, as far as Cassius being a telemarketer, that is another great thing that I thought the film did a very great job, and just kind of shows the style of the director, Bruce Riley. When he was on the phone as a telemarketer, Cassius, the visual representation of how they threw you into the call, I found very compelling. It was just another way to grab your attention and pull you into the film, and just, just not let your mind wander off. It was very creative. It was very unique. And there was a number of unique things in this film, some good, some bad. Some of the things that are good is just kind of like the random things that the director would like focus on and zoom in on. But then like a negative is I felt that he would do that too much to where it was just too random. So I was like, okay, I'm thinking at first like, yeah, that's just some clever directing right there. He's an auteur. He's different. He's not like all these other corporate slaves and blah, blah, blah. But then it just came too much. And I'm just like, okay, like, what's going on? Where are you going with this? Why did you just zoom in on a remote? Is this going to come back and circle around later on in the film? So it just kind of like too many random moments. Now the editing I thought was very well in this film. I believe I said that this is very original film, and it's the kind of way he kind of cut in and cut out of things. I did find fascinating. Something that is a trip. The main thing that people are going to be talking about this movie is how it relates to the real world. You all know, if you've seen all my videos, I am a big comic fan. I love comic book movies, Marvel, DC. I love it all. And in Marvel, DC, and comic books and science fiction, fantasy, things like that, there is something that you call a multiverse, to where we are right now in this universe here living our lives, but in a parallel universe over here, there may be another Earth, like Earth 1, and over here is Earth 2, to where everything could be completely different. Or, I could be me, but have, red hair and be extremely skinny or extremely muscular or whatever, just slightly different. This film right here is a offshoot, or just an example, a alternate universe of the world that we live in today, to where things are very similar but different at the same time. And Armie Hammer is the lead actor as far as that's concerned, and this plot device, and he does a very, very great job. His name is Steve Lift. He is a billionaire, maybe even a trillionaire. I can't remember. But he's just like a globalist corporate person that's just obsessed with money and control, that just craps up on the little people, and all he cares about is profit. And I don't want to spoil. Actually, I was finished to give more detail, but actually, this film is better not even knowing. I'm not even going to tell you. I don't want to set it up even more, but I'll just say that Armie Hammer's character was very interesting. So was Terry Crews. I did like him, other than the wig that he had. Amari Hardwick, his character in this film, was the most shocking. As well. And just the way the director, the way he dealt with everything else in this movie, of it just kind of being some like Elseworld situation that we kind of see here on, that we live in today. This film deals with so much. It deals with slavery. It deals with racism. It deals with cooning. If you don't know what cooning is, you can look that up. It's random. It's political. It's sickening. It's bold. Just it's just a real representation of American life and kind of what we go through in this country. I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about everybody, whether you're white, black, brown, yellow, red, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's this film in a way puts a mirror right in front of your face and kind of just reflects life in itself, in this world, in this country, and how interesting it can be and how disgusting it can be. And the film doesn't try to hide it either. This is a very honest film, blatant. I'm sorry for tapping that, guys, for you with the headphones. It's very honest. It's very blatant. It breaks the fourth wall without breaking the fourth wall. Literally just stopping and just letting you know what the objective of this scene is, or even line of dialogue. I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was very unapologetic, and that is something that I can respect And just the where this film went is just very shocking to me with some of the issues that it addressed. And I was just kind of asking myself, man, I cannot believe they're going there. But they went there, which is causing me to look up the rating of this film, which is a rated R. It's not a hard R, but it's dancing in between, because some of the stuff is also kind of disturbing and just kind of makes you uncomfortable and just like really just like, it's just like, man, I was sitting here watching myself like, man, people really do certain things in this film that people would do in real life. What I'm trying to say is, the crap that people would do to gain notoriety or significance or likes online is very interesting, and this film does shine a light on that, a big vivid light. Now, as you're exploring all this, you just don't know. There was a couple of times where I was like, okay, where did the original film go that I thought I was watching? I don't know where this film is going. Do I really care right now? But then they would just do something so random and crazy to where it was like, man, where is this film going to go? It's like, I care, but I didn't care. I mean, this was very interesting. I still don't know if I like this film or not. I really don't. It is just that interesting. It is nothing that I want to see again. I saw this with my mother. When did we see this? Saw this Monday night with my mother. She couldn't stand the film. If I talked to anybody out there and they said they hated this film, I would completely understand where they was coming from. If somebody I was talking to was like, man, I really liked this film. It was unique. It was different. It was bold. It was this. It was that. I really liked it. I could understand that too. I don't know where I am. Actually, I do. And I'm going to go ahead and give my rating of Sorry to Bother You right now. If I were to rate Sorry to Bother You out of a 1 out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Yes, a 7.5 out of 10. The reason why is, even though this film was a little bit uncomfortable in some parts, and I did not know where it was going, and it was random, and it was weird and disturbing, I still have respect for it, for what it was doing and the message that it tried to convey. And I think it did a great job there. And it may not have been just my cup of tea, but I can remove my bias and sometimes look at a film objectively, even though all films are subjective, and appreciate what it was trying to do. And I do appreciate what this film was trying to do. I'm not necessarily saying that I like the film, but in some weird warped way, I slightly have a bit of respect for it. And just kind of, it kind of opened my eyes to just some things and what could possibly come. So, hey, it is what it is. But guys, that is just my opinion for Sorry to Bother You. What did you think? Or do you want to see it? Have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. And if you don't, that's fine, but you can still subscribe to my channel. You can also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All that good stuff is right there at the bottom of your screen, and I made it very easy by providing links to all that good stuff down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review of Sorry to Bother You. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.